welcome to another brew day video. So this one is a step way ahead of the last brew day video that I had for you, which was an absolute nightmare. So that marshmallow porter I brewed last time wasn't very good. Brew day was a terrible day. The worst brew day I've ever had. So from that I went on and decided to start to think about my whole mashing setup and start to investigate on different companies that do mash tuns, where I could get some good mash tuns. I found loads of good ones, good British companies. There are other companies like SS Brewtech and where you can get their mash tuns from people like Malt Miller. But they cost a fortune, £300 worth of, £350 worth of mash tun. It's quite an investment. I couldn't really justify it with the wife as well. That's quite a lot to invest. So I ended up looking around and found a company called Powell Brewing, who did a mash tun. It didn't look pretty, but functionally it had everything that I needed from it. A false bottom. It seemed to work. It looked like it worked well. Stainless steel. It looked okay. £167. So it's not too much of an investment. So I purchased that. Took a couple of weeks to come through. It looks like it's Power Brewing looks like it's a one-man show. They get stuff in. It's made to order. You order it, they make it. It takes them a little while, and they ship it out to you. They were really helpful. Did get to a point where, after a week I've not heard from them, so I did get in touch with them. Really, really helpful guy. He was like really apologetic. He hadn't been in touch. Said, if I wanted it earlier, all I needed to do was get in touch with him, and he would try and get it out before my next brew date, which he did way before my next brew day. So I was really happy. That's all I wanted. So what you will see from this video. First of all, actually, let me show you what this the new mash tun is like. It is. Like I said, it's not the best looking mash tun. A mash tun covered in sorry, it's getting dark in one corner there. A mash tun covered in silver bubble wrap or insulated bubble wrap isn't the best kind of thing that you would want, but it's really, really functional. So the lighting in here is really crap because it's really bright outside and dark in here now. Anyway, so it's got a good temperature gauge on it. It's got a good ball lock. I've added the cam lock fitting to the front of it. It's really, really simple to do, but all of this comes apart really nicely. It's really easy to take apart. Insulated lid. This stuff is, it's insulated bubble wrap. It's got aluminium foil tape all over it. If there's a hole, it's really easy to repair. I've bought some aluminium foil tape. It cost me like £3 for a roll. Something gets damaged on here, I get a hole in one of the bits of bubble wrap, patch it really easy. It's really, really simple to fix. So anyway, it's a really nicely, tightly fitting lid. And look, it's just a false bottom, a really, really simple false bottom. So the false bottom is literally just a circular metal grill. The feet are just bolts that are bolted into place through. It's like the whole idea is actually really, really simple. When I turned up, I was kind of like, what? If I'd have put a bit of time and effort in, I could have built that myself. But I never thought about building something like this. There is some like around the edge here. You can see there's a gap. There is some tubing that does fit around there to make it a much more snug fit. But that's in the kitchen because I've just washed this. But yeah, so normally it's really snug fitting normally. You don't get any gaps, so you won't get any grain falling through the edges. I just haven't put it back on there for this video. But yeah, I've used it once for this brew day. I've used it again since on another brew day, which is not going to be out for a couple of weeks. But so far, it's a really, really nice mash tun. So much nicer than the old cool box ones, which are just essentially a big lump of plastic. I never really liked the idea of my beer, hot liquor, sitting in a lump of plastic, so I'm much happier with a stainless steel one. Along with this, I bought a rotating sparge arm, so my sparge setup's a lot better. But anyway, that's the new mash tun. How about we move on to the brew video and you can see this bad boy in action. So what we have is for this double mango Lassi IPA, we have 5 kilos of, it says pale malt there, I've used Golden Promise, 2 kilos of Marisota, 1 kilo of flaked oats, 900 grams of Gary pills, 400 grams of torrefied wheat, 250 grams of wheat malt, and 150 grams of crystal malt, which is just to add a little bit of colour, I guess. I don't know, I might actually omit that because I don't really want to add the colour. I want to keep it pale. If I do add it, I've got some pale crystal malt here, which I'm going to add 150 grams of. So this is a pretty big grain bill. I have here one fermentation bucket, absolutely full. I've got 600 grams in this here, and I've got another 150 grams to take out of here. So it's going to be a real test of the new mash tun's ability to do a good mash. As a precaution, I've added 200 grams of rice hulls to the grain bill, just because there's a kilo of oats going in there, so I want to make sure that we don't end up with any stuck sparges. But yeah, I've got 20 degrees left to go on the strike water, and then I will get ready to start mashing in. Okay, so new recirculation setup. So obviously I've got a different mash tun, so I've changed my method of recirculation. So we have, I'm just letting a tube come in, just trickling into the back of the boil kettle, into the mash tun. Temperature at the moment is at 64 degrees, so I want it to raise up to, well, apparently 58 according to the digital one. I want that to raise up to 69, so I'm going to do this for 45 minutes. So far the flow's okay, it's looking good, and I'm getting a nice amount there. So I've got the, obviously it's not turned on to full, getting a nice trickle coming out through the Holmes coil, back into the back of the mash tun. So fingers crossed this goes okay. So far we're looking good. 5 more minutes of this, and then I will start to do the mash out. Thought I'd give the recirculation a little go with the new sparge arm that I've got. So as you can see, I've got a spinning, trickling sparge arm to go with the mash tun. Looking good. Temperature so far just over 70, which is perfect. I want to mash out at like 74, so we're looking really good at the moment. According to the ink where it is at 70, so it's spot on. So far, everything is going to plan. I'm a bit worried because brew days aren't normally like that. Up on using the sparge arm for recirculating, kind of unnecessary. Looks nice and pretty, but yeah, I think the really fine holes that are in the sparge arm, after a period of like sticky hot wort running through it, you get like a bit of like sugary build up on the holes, and they stop working as well. So I've gone back to just using this. So anyway, I've got another 15 minutes of recirculation, then I will put the sparge arm on properly and start sparging, ready for mash out. Running off, really nice, clear looking, beautiful colour. Really pleased with this so far. Got a nice sparge going on. So, all looking good so far. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah. All good. Although one half of the sparge arm looks like it's not very effective. It looks like it's coming out of one side, but I don't really care. It's probably blocked with some sugars. I probably need to give it a good soak now. But yeah, so far so good. Looks like it's going a little bit too well. Hot break's just kicked off, as you can see. Look at that lovely, creamy looking head on the top of the wort boiling away. So anyway, at the 60-minute mark, we are here with 45 grams of Northern Brewer homegrown hops, grown last year, going into the boil kettle. So 15 minutes left in the boil. As you can see, look at all that gunky protein and stuff floating around in the boil kettle. It's going to be fun trying to whirlpool this. 40 grams of Citra going in at the 15-minute stage. I have 1 Protofloc tablet going in at the 15-minute stage. Whoosh. I have a kilo of lactose going in. So this is the first bag at 500. So this is going to be a nice, because it's a double IPA, I wanted to double up on the amount of lactose going in. I think the original recipe I did was with 500 grams, so this recipe, chuck in a kilo. Cool, so chuck that to one side, let me give this a good stir. Get all this nice lactose dissolving. And this should bump the gravity right up as well. So one thing you'll also notice from this boil is that I'm at like the top mark is 32, so I'm at like 30, 31 litres, which is just crazy amount. This is the most I've ever managed to get into this boil kettle. It's be interesting to do a gravity reading shortly to see where we're at. So 15 more minutes left in the boil, and then it'll be flame out and time to chuck in some mango pulp and the whirlpool hops. I don't know if you can see that very clearly. So we were aiming for a gravity of 1.097. We've hit, quite if you can see that, I can't quite get the camera lens into the hole, but anyway, it's 1.095. Bang on, well, 1.094, 95, which is, I'm pretty happy with, considering I've got 30 litres of the stuff, and this is a 25 litre recipe. Well, it looks like it's going to be 30 litres, it may be a little bit less, but either way, whoop, we've got more wort than we were hoping for. So, I've lucked out on the quantity and only lost 2 points on the gravity, so pretty damn good. So, end of the boil. Now, before flame out, I'm just going to chuck in, I've got here 850 grams of mango pulp. Recipe calls for a kilo. They come in 850 gram tins. I can't be bothered with opening another can and, you know, pulling out 150 grams worth of mango pulp, so I'm quite happy to leave it at that. And also, considering we're now at flame out, so let's just turn off the flame. Cool. Whew, steamy. So now we're at flame out. I've got 60 grams of Citra, which I'm going to steep for 10 minutes. So I'm going to chuck that in, leave that for 10 minutes, and then I'll get the water chiller in. So we're chilling down to like the 25 degrees Celsius mark. So ready to pitch in, I think. But look at that colour. Look at that murky looking orange soup. This is going to be amazing. Here we go. So we've got our yeast starter. Just going to pour that into our sanitised bucket. Oops, in goes the stir bar. Let me just dig that out. Okay, so stir bar's gone in. Sanitised magnet, sanitised hand. Stir bar is gonna come out. There we go. Cool. Okay. First time I've ever done that. Right, so here we go with the letting that water run in. Look how orange that is. It's amazing. Cool. I'm gonna fill this up and get this in the fermenter. Okay, so here we are in the fermenter. We have 26 litres. So it's not too bad actually, considering it was a 25 litre batch. So we're slightly over, not much. Very, very slightly under on the OG, 1.095 instead of 1.097. Obviously, you know, once you've boiled, I had a 28 litre after the boil. Once it cools down, the liquid shrinks a little bit, and then there's some losses because of you know, soaked up by the hops and all the crap that's floating around inside the kettle, which settles on the bottom once you get to empty it all out. So, you know, 26 litres at the end of it, pretty cool. In the fermenter now. I join this again probably in about a week's time, where I start the dry hopping. But for now, good night, guys. Or good night. I'm talking to the yeast, by the way, not you lot. Good night, guys. Here we go, following day. Tiny, tiny line of fluid at the bottom. And bubbling away. Oh, yeah. Come home from work, and it looks like the fermentation has gone crazy. So we've got krausen in the blow-off vessel, all through the blow-off tube. Looks like that the krausen's probably all the way up to the top of this bucket. So, monster brew, oh yeah. Ooh, here we are. Okay, so first hop drop. So we've got 8 days left in the fermentation. You can see we've got the sediment that is actually below the line of the tap, which is really cool. We have still at around about just under the 26 litre mark, which is bang on. So compared to my last brew of the Imperial Porter, which had shit ton of sediment in it and loads of crap floating on top, you know, with the new mash tun, you know, looks like I'm getting better results. Anyway, so let's have a look inside. Oh yeah, look at that colour. Okay, so I'm going to chuck in my first hop drop, which is here. We have here 50 grams of Citra and 40 grams of Amarillo. And I'm going to chuck that into the fermenter. I'm going to leave that there until the end, and 3 days before fermentation finishes. Gunky that is. 3 days before fermentation finishes, I will be chucking in another load of hops. So you will see that shortly. Okay, 3 days left in fermentation. Final dry hop. We have here 50 grams of Citra, 60 grams of Amarillo. I'm going to chuck that in now. See the old bag in there is nicely swollen, so let's dump that in. So I'm going to get my stick and stir it and leave it for the next 3 days, ready for kegging on Sunday. Okay, so as you can see, a much better. So let's move you over a little bit better. As you can see, a much better brew day. You know, no stuck sparge. Everything went exactly as it should have done. Had a really good bite of gravity. You know, the everything during the fermentation went well, and here we are with the finished beer. So I've brewed a mango lassi before, and that came out really well. I was really pleased with it. You know, after the couple of weeks, I couldn't understand what the lactose was adding, but after like 4 or 5 weeks, that lactose added so much to the kind of the brownness to the end of the flavour. And this one here, and as you can see, look at the beautiful colour. You know, it's this lovely cloudy, lovely orange colour. It's just, you know, I'm really pleased with the colour. It's nice light. It's not too dark. You know, the Maris Otter that I can't remember if I used Maris Otter in my previous mango lassi. It made it more orange. This is a yellowy orange, which is what you'd expect to find in a really ripe, fruity looking mango. So yeah, and the head, look at that lovely tight head. It's just so nice. It's come out really good. So, you know, the head retention's amazing on this. You know, really beautiful beer. So, after a perfect brew day, in my new mash tun, and what looks like an amazing beer, let's give this a little bit of a stick my nose in, see what it's like, and give it a taste. So on the nose, you know, it's, you know, with all the hops that I put into it, you'd expect it to be really fruity. And it is, it's tropical fruits. Yeah, it's, I've got a bit of hay fever, so my nose is a bit bunged up, so I'm not getting a massive, as much pungent flavours as I'd hoped for. But, you know, it's fruity, you know, it's mango-y, it's, you know, tropical fruit, everything you'd expect from like a tropical IPA, whatever you want to call it. As for the flavour, lovely hoppy flavour, the pungent hoppy flavour. I get more of the flavour, mainly because I think I've got hay fever and my nose is a bit bunged up, but you know, the flavour's lovely, that really kind of heavy hoppy flavour that you get from something like a Cloudwater IPA, a double IPA, or you know, one of those really heavily hopped IPAs. Oh, it's lovely. This has only been in the keg for 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks actually, 1 week and 5 days. Yeah, so it's pretty fresh, and it's already got the kind of the lactose gives the like this chewy sweet kind of flavour at the end of your mouth. It's really, it's almost like an ice creamy kind of fruity ice cream. The fact that it's a double IPA, you know, it's got that double hit of like intense beer flavour. It's yeah, I'm really pleased with this. You know, it is an improvement on the mango lassi I did before. You know, I've seen other people do mango lassis and they have to add the mango into the fermenter rather than into the end of the boil, like I did with this one. And I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I'll be better putting it in the fermenter. I really like you know, the subtleness of the mango that you get for adding it to the end of the boil rather than the punchy fruitness that you get, and it kind of makes it feel more like an IPA than a fruit beer. But yeah, I'm going to really enjoy drinking this. You know, I've only had a few pints out of the keg so far, so I've got quite a way left to go on this. But you know, compared to a lot of beers that I've done, this is actually really successful. Really happy with this. Compared to the last beer I did, it's a major success. You know, it's a step back in the right direction, because I felt after my marshmallow porter, you know, I was in a bad place with my beer making, and this has made me feel so much better. Happy homebrew, guys.